Today I will use only 3 inks to color my image and add depth by using them strategically. Hello and welcome to Creative Coloring with Iram. Today I am using this gorgeous floral stem set and I will share 2 layouts with you with the same ink colors. I will just change a couple of things and share it at the end to give you more ideas on using this fabulous stamp. I will use the Gracious Peonies stem set and the coloring stencil that comes in the bundle and also the die set. I used Aqualicious Crisp Dye Ink to stamp one of the bigger images from the set. I used a stamp platform for stamping and left the stamp as is in it because after coloring I will stamp the image in Obsidian ink. I lost the stamping portion of the video, but it is no big deal. So just simple stamping on Crest Solar White cardstock. For all base layers, I applied Aqualicious Crisp Dye Ink starting with a very heavy hand and then reducing the pressure as I move towards the tips. As a result, there is very light inking on the tips. This helped with the illusion that I used many inks to create dark shading. So always note this point if you are using fewer inks and you want to show depth and highlights. Have your highlight a lot more lighter or even white, your dark areas would pop up. I will come back in with Galactic Crisp Dye Ink later on to add a bit more shading here. After I applied that to the flower center. As this is a cupped flower, the center is darker. That is what I think where my depth and shadow needs to be. It is entirely up to you or where you want to show your depths and shadows. So I will keep the flower center and the petals that are curled outwards darker. But I will keep the back side of the curled petals lighter. Those that are curled inwards. The back side of it is going to be lighter. And this will instantly create a lot of dimension. Also, through the layering stencil, when I will apply Galactic Dye Ink, I will make sure to apply it heavy-handedly onto areas where I want to show more depth. So this is not going to be uniform, like it's not going to be uniform all over the flower. Just be a little careful when you are doing this and you will be able to get amazing dimensions. So you need to apply the darker ink onto areas where you really want to show the shadow or depth. And when you remove the stencil compared to the lighter portions, it's going to immediately create the difference between it, you know, the highlights and the mid-tone area and the shadows and the depth. You can remove the stencil to get a better look where you want the darkest portions to be. You can also use detailed blending brush if you want to add finer details. I didn't do that because I wanted to make this card quickly, and that is what it is, actually a very quick card. For the leaves, I will use Lime Crisp Dye Ink, which I will apply darker at the base and lighter at the tips in the same manner as I did with the flowers. The Lime Crisp Dye Ink is vibrant and looks great with the blues of the flower, but I really wanted it to work well with the flowers and coordinate, like have that hint of the flower, the color of the flower. Plus, I also wanted to add the same amount of depth on the leaves. So I used Galactic Crisp Dye Ink on the base to add shading. And I know it doesn't show up in the video as I have too much light here, but you can see it in the photos very clearly. And this is just one layer image, but it appears like I have cut it and the leaves are overlapping only because of the way the ink has been applied. Once I'm done adding color to the image, I will place this again in my stamp platform and stamp the image in Obsidian ink. You can stamp a couple of times to get a really good impression. Next, I will use the coordinating die to die cut the image. Then on a black cardstock the size of my card front, I will add splatters of white paint from the metallic watercolor 14 pen set. Next, I will adhere some instant dimension tape behind the image. But before adhering the image to the card front, to add a bit of texture to my image, I will add clean water splatters. These are going to be super fine. I'll sop up the splatters with a tissue. You don't have to do this. I had to do this because I was drinking water, so I had to do something about it, and splatters is the only thing that came to my mind. I wasn't going to ink over this image and wasn't going to create a new one. Then I will adhere this onto the card front and cut off the overhanging image to place it on the other side, on any corner actually, or any side where it looks good. For the sentiment, I will stamp it in Obsidian ink, and then I will draw an outline around it, which will act as a cutting guide for me. Then I will fussy cut this and stamp a secondary sentiment, then adhere both of these to the card front. Now this is the second card that I wanted to show you. The differences here, the first one is that I changed the layout, and the second one is that I colored the outline with the white outline, the fine liner pen, the one that has a brush nib, and it changed the look of the image. To complete this card, I will use the Versatile Greetings die and use this as a sentiment. I would love to know which one you prefer, the one with the white outline or without. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!